Hey everybody, welcome back to my channel, The Redheaded Homemaker. It is so good to be back videoing again. I've been gone a while. We had a lot of things that we thought were going to happen that didn't happen. We thought we were going to be moving in with my dad pretty quick, but then things kind of fell through, so we didn't get to move in with my dad. So we had already started packing, so that's why the videos kind of stopped, but now I'm back and I'm hoping to keep bringing you videos every week. So today is a really good fall day. It's just cool outside, the leaves are falling. So I thought today would be a great day to make some vegetable beef soup. And I'm going to show you how I do it. My recipe is the same recipe I do every time. I don't alter anything. The one time that I did alter something, we could really taste the difference. So I do this recipe the same way every time. So I want to share this recipe with y'all. And I'm so glad to be back in the kitchen and making videos, and I hope to keep bringing you more and more videos. So just stay tuned and see what else I bring in the future. If you like this channel, hit the subscribe button, and I'll try to drop the recipe in the comment section below. But it's pretty basic vegetable beef soup recipe, and I'm going to show you how I do it. So thanks for joining me on The Redheaded Homemaker, and I can't wait to show you how I make this vegetable beef soup. Okay. So we're back, and sorry about the angle. I need to get me a different kind of tripod for y'all because you can't really see my face or anything. All you can see is my hands. So the first thing I'm going to start out with is I got this pack of London broil at Sam's on Friday. You can use whatever kind of beef you like. You can use a roast, whatever you want to use. I like London broil. My family likes London broil. It's a leaner cut of meat. My husband is real picky when it comes to fat on his meat. So I just get the London broil at Sam's, and it comes in a 2-pack. And I usually use one whole London broil for my soup, so I'll freeze the other one. And I bought a lot of meat the other day, so I need to vacuum seal. So I'm just going to put it in the Ziploc bag for right now. And just put it back in the refrigerator. Then when I go to vacuum seal all my hamburger and stuff, I will vacuum seal that. I have a video on how I vacuum seal all my hamburger. So we went to Sam's a day ago, and we bought 4 of the huge packs of hamburger, and I'll break it down and I'll vacuum seal it. And hopefully with what I already have in the freezer, I should have enough to last us. It's the 1st of November now. I should have enough to last us hopefully through January, if not into February. So that's a good trick to have if you have a vacuum sealer. I vacuum seal all my meat. So I'm going to wipe up a little bit of this blood off this cutting board. And I go through, and as you can see on the side, there's a little bit of fat. Because my husband is so picky, I cut all that fat off. I know people are going to get on me about that because fat adds a lot of flavor, and trust me, I know when I get a steak, I eat the fat right off of it, but my husband is very, very picky, so because I love him, I clean all the fat off of it. I do this for the chicken too, so let me clean the meat up a little bit. I don't get like every little bit off, but like the bigger chunks I do get off just to make him happy. But you'll see I'll leave a little bit. Let me go ahead and just cut this in half to make it easier to work with. How have y'all been doing? I've missed doing my videos. Work has been a little slow, I'm sure, with everything going on in the world today. I hope that everyone out there is staying healthy and your work is going good and you're not having to be laid off or anything like that. Luckily, my company worked everything out good. We were only laid off 1 week a month since about May, I believe. And this month in November, our work has picked up enough to where we're not going to get laid off at all. So thank goodness for all of that. All of y'all have been in my prayers. I hope everyone has just been staying safe and healthy. We got Christmas coming up. Oh, can't believe Christmas is right here at our back door already. Last night was Halloween, and oh, it was so great to see all the little kids out and not having to worry about everything going on in the world. We had about 54 trick-or-treaters, which was about a little less than half last. I think we had about 116 trick-or-treaters last year. So I just cut my hamburger, my hamburger, oh goodness. I just cut my London broil into strips, and then I'm going to go back and cut it into little cubes. You do this how your family likes it. This will cook down some, so they may look a little bit bigger. But once this cooks down, because I let this cook for about 5 hours. I think the longer you let it cook, the flavors marry together. And I also like to keep my pot right here beside me, and I just throw my meat in as I go. So I'm gonna go through and cut all this meat up and keep talking. But yeah, I feel like this Christmas is gonna be a little crazy. I know my husband was saying that they had a thing on the news that if you're gonna order anything on Amazon, or I guess any of the department stores or anything for Christmas gifts, you better go ahead and do it now, because people are having a hard time getting stuff in. I know I went to the mall a couple weeks ago, and it's just not the same. Thanks, shelves aren't stocked. We went to Sam's, like I said, the other night. Evidently, there's going to be another toilet paper shortage. I'm not sure, but Sam's had no toilet paper, and they had some paper towels, but not like they did about a month ago when we went. It just seems like things are getting, I don't know, less and less. The shelves don't seem as stocked. So I don't know, it's just getting a little crazy. But I'm going to cube this up. Like I said, it's handy having the pot there. Now, once I get this cut up, I go ahead and I just put maybe about a cup of water. I don't put enough to cover the beef. I just put enough in there to keep it from sticking to the bottom. Now, I know some people who will put their roast in their crock pot and let it cook like the day before, and then they shred it and they put it in their vegetable beef soup. We don't really care for that. And I know for some people will sear their roast or whatever they're using, and then they cut it. Then they put it in their soup. Do it that way. It's whatever way you like. This is the way that my family likes it. This is the way we eat it. So do it to your taste. Just the main thing is get in there and cook, and just, I don't know. It's just been a crazy world this year. The election, I'm not even going to get into that. I hope come November, hope everybody votes and votes the way they feel is the best. So get out to your polls and do vote. So, okay, all my beef is cut up. Like I said, I'm going to add about a cup of water. Let me get me a cup. My cabinet. I'm just getting enough water, like I said, to cover the bottom of the pot. Let me pour that in there and I'll show you. I just don't want my beef to, I don't know if you can see in there. It's a little dark. But I just don't want my beef to stick. So I'm going to go ahead and get this on the stove and wash up my hands. And I'll be right back and show you the next step. Okay, got my cutting board all sanitized and cleaned off really good. Next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and chop up my celery and my carrots and my onions. I try to do it in the order of the things that take the longest to cook, which it really doesn't matter. Like I said, I'm going to let it cook all day. I've already cleaned the celery. And you do your preference. I'd usually do 4 or 5 celery ribs. So you're just going to put a dice on them. If your family likes bigger chunks, do them bigger chunks. If your family likes smaller chunks, then dice them up really fine. It's whatever your preference is. I'm just showing you the ingredients, and you make it your own. And I did put a little salt and pepper on my beef. I've got it on the stove now on about a medium heat. And also the salt and pepper is your preference too. Just remember that your tomato juice that you're going to be putting in there, because I do use tomato juice, it does have salt in it, so you may want to wait till the end to put your salt in there. And now, I'm no chef by no means. I do not cut like a chef. I know you're all going to cringe the way I cut, but this is just how I do it. I don't know the proper way to hold your hand when you're cutting, so just cut it up the best you can. Like I said, however your family likes it. They might like the smaller dice. They might like the bigger dice. My husband, he's really picky my husband's a picky eater. I just want to let y'all know that. Very picky. He doesn't eat any meat that comes on a bone. He doesn't like any fat. He doesn't like his onions cut up really big if you're cooking it. He doesn't like sauteed onions very much. So sometimes it's a challenge for dinner around here because of him. All right, I got my celery cut up. And if you don't have one of these, I'm not sure what it's called. A food scraper, I'm not really for sure. This thing is amazing. I got this one at Belk. It's a Rachel Ray. I want to say I paid under $10 for it, but it will pick up a lot of stuff at one time. Now I'm going to go over here and throw this in my pot. I'm sorry my camera's not able to let you see that, but I will show you once I get everything in the pot what it looks like. But I do have my stove on, about medium. And you can cut up like your vegetables, and if you see that you need more, add more. Add whatever you want. You can add, make this your own. I don't personally add macaroni noodles to it, but I know when we were young, and my mom and dad were trying to stretch $1, I know my mom would add macaroni noodles to it. She would add all different kinds of beans. I'll show you what I put in mine, and then you make it your own. I'm just showing you the base. Now, I didn't think about when I bought the carrots. I got the little baby carrots, and I should have bought the whole carrots because they're a lot easier to work with. And I could probably get out my chopper and chop them up that way, but it's not that many. So, and again, cut them up the way your family likes them. I like big chunks of carrots. My husband, not so much. So, just kind of chunk them up. Just watch your fingers. So the base is pretty much carrots, celery, onions, potatoes. Then I'm going to add corn, green beans, and peas. And then I'm going to add tomato juice, a little bit of sugar, salt and pepper, and the beef. That is my vegetable beef soup. Like I said, make it your own. You can add pinto beans to it. You can add black beans to it. Macaroni noodles. You can add whole tomatoes. This is just what my family likes. And the ratio, the portions that I'm showing you, this is going to make a lot of soup. So when I make the soup, I usually feed my dad. I'm going to take some to my elderly neighbor and her grandson next door. Because today is just a good fall day for soup or stews or chili. It's that time of year. I'll have to show you my shirt. It says Happy Fall, y'all. I made it, I don't know, 2-3 weeks ago. Anticipating the fall weather, because I do love this time of year. I love snow more than I love fall, but I think I love all seasons throughout the year. Each one I have a different reason why I love. That's the one good thing about living in Virginia. We do get to have all four. We don't have as much snow as I would like, but that is okay too. I'm just going to keep cutting until I think I have enough. Like I said, you could probably use canned carrots if you wanted to. I never have. I've always just used fresh carrots and cut them up. But what are some things y'all are going to be making this fall? Are y'all going to do any new recipes for Christmas or Thanksgiving? I know Christmas and Thanksgiving is going to be a little different this year. Are y'all going to get together? Are y'all going to still have your family gatherings? I know we will definitely have our Christmas and our Thanksgiving at my dad's house. I'm going to try a couple new recipes that I found, and I'll share them with you. One of them is the sausage ball. I always make sausage balls for Christmas. And this one, you add the cream cheese to it. It's the cream cheese, the Bisquick, and the shredded cheese. Oh, it looks so good. And I know they'll be so, like, tender. Sometimes I make sausage balls and they get a little tough. So I'm going to try those this year. I don't know what else I'm going to do. I just want to try some new recipes. Our Thanksgiving dinner at my dad's is pretty traditional. Now our Christmas, we always try to do some snacky foods. Like the sausage balls. I'm going to take this over to the stove. We do the sausage balls. We do the meatballs with the barbecue sauce. And we do the little smokies and barbecue sauce. And I'll make a vegetable tray. And I like to make a vegetable pizza, and I'll share that with y'all too. I'm sure y'all have seen it 100 times on Pinterest and Facebook and everything else, but it's so good. I'm gonna wipe my thing off again. I'm just doing vegetables now, so I'm just gonna do a quick wipe. Next thing I'm gonna add is an onion, and yes, if you watch any of my other videos, you know that I froze 25 pounds of onions, but I had fresh onions and I'm just gonna use it up. So pretty basic. Cut up an onion. Like I said, cut it up the way you like it. I'm gonna put the whole onion in there. Let me dispose of this really quick. I really have missed doing my videos. I don't know, things just got a little crazy. We thought we were going to be moving in with my dad really quick, but that didn't work out. My brother lives with my father, and my brother's disabled, and he thought he had somewhere he was going to go, but it didn't work out. So we started packing, and everything got crazy around here. And then with COVID, he's unable to find anywhere to live because nobody's renting anywhere. So that's why the videos have not been coming out like they were before. But I do appreciate all my subscribers. I noticed I had some new subscribers, so welcome. Thank you so much. Share my videos. I do love making them, and I'm going to be doing some cookie videos because I love to make cookies and bars. And I'm not a big cake person. I don't make a lot of cakes, but I do like to make a lot of cookies and desserts. I know I've probably mentioned this before in my videos, but me, my sister, my niece get together every year, and we have what we call bake day. And we just get together and we just bake up a bunch of stuff, and we split it up and we take it to work. But I don't know how that's going to work this year, since I know at my work they've asked you not to do that. So I don't know how we'll do it. We might just make a couple things and just sit around and just catch up. So, all right, I've got my onions pretty good chopped up. Like I said, that was a whole onion. All right, get those pieces. Whoops, come back here. All right, let me get this in my pot. A lot of onion. My beef's over here cooking. I'm gonna bring the camera over here in just 1 second and show y'all before I mix all this up. I'll try to mix it up as I hold the camera. So I'll be right back, and let me get my hands washed off and I'll show you the pot. Alright, so here's the pot, and here's all the vegetables. Now I'm trying to do this one-handed, and I am left-handed, so you can see the beef is cooking. There's my onions, my celery, my carrots. I'm going to get all this mixed up, and I'm going to let it cook for just maybe 5-10 minutes, and then I'm going to start adding my other ingredients. I want to get the meat almost done. I want to get the meat brown. Let me put it like that. It's not going to be done. But when this meat cooks, it gets so tender. So right now I'm going to let this cook, and I've already added my salt and pepper. Sorry, this camera's fogging up. I've already added my salt and pepper. Add to your choice. I mean, add what you like. If you like a lot of salt and pepper, add a lot of salt and pepper. But I will warn you that the tomato juice that I'm putting in there does have a lot of salt in it. So I usually hold back on my salt until pretty much the very end, after I've got everything mixed up, because I don't want it to be too salty. So I'm going to go ahead and get the next step ready, and I'll be right back. Alright, so here is my next step. So I'm very particular about the canned vegetables that I use in my soup. Like I said earlier in the video, I mentioned that we tried something different one time and we could really taste the difference. We used Del Monte. Not that there's anything wrong with Del Monte. We've always used Green Giant vegetables in our soup. So I had to hunt down Green Giant vegetables to get enough to make for the soup. So here's my ratios for my canned vegetables. I use 4 cans of the cut green beans. I use 3 cans of the whole kernel corn. And I use 3 cans of the sweet peas. This is the ratio that works for me. Use what you want to use. If you like the Del Monte, use the Del Monte. The reason we started even using Green Giant was because Kroger, I'm going to wipe the tops off while I talk to you. Because Kroger always does a sale twice a year where you can get Green Giant vegetables for 49 cents. So the food hoarder that I am, I would go buy 16 cases of Green Giant vegetables. So when I would do like soups and stuff, that's what I used. We got used to that. So for other stuff, I can use the Del Monte and stuff like that. We don't taste the difference. But for the soup, we tasted a difference. I'm old school. I like an old school can opener. I don't like the electric can openers. I have a colander in my sink. I'm just going to go through and open up all these cans. And I'm just going to dump all of them in there at one time. Now this ratio works for me. You may want to take out 2 cans of the green beans and put in 2 cans of pinto beans. And that's perfectly fine. I have a huge pot. And I should have looked at how big that pot was before I put the stuff in it. I might be able to lift it up and tell you how big that pot is. My husband had to buy special just for my soup. And trust me, when I get done with it, it'll be full almost to the very tip top. So this makes a lot of soup. Now, we have made this soup and we have canned it in the pressure canner. I think you can it for an hour and 10 minutes. The thing that we didn't like about it when we pressure canned it, and we should have done it a little different, we cooked it first and then we canned it. And I think if you was to can it without cooking it, I think it would have came out better. It seemed like the textures of the vegetables changed some. And I think because they were overcooked. So if we ever can this again, we're just going to mix everything up, everything raw pretty much, and pressure can it that way. So, but like I said, you can add macaroni to this. If you need to make it stretch, maybe only put, or you could even cut this recipe in half. But if you want to make this recipe stretch, macaroni is a great way to make a recipe stretch. Get you a box of macaroni noodles and add you some extra water. Like you notice, I've only put enough water at the bottom just to get my meat going. I didn't want my meat to stick. You could put enough water, like maybe say like 3 or 4 cups in there, and then add your tomato juice, and then at the very end do your macaroni. Or what you could do is you could cook macaroni separate, and then as you fix a bowl of soup, just put a little bit of macaroni over in there and mix it up. The only reason I say that, because if you're going to save it for the next day, the macaroni might swell on you too much and become really mushy. But I know sometimes my mom would always add macaroni to it. So, alright, I got all these cans opened up and it didn't take very long. I just don't like an electric can opener. I'm old school. I probably have 4 or 5 manual can openers. I'm just going to take my colander. I'm going to let it drain most of the juice off. I want all the juice off of it. I mean, I'm not going to be able to get all of it off, but most of it. And then I'm just going to pour it in my pot. So let me see if I can move my camera over there and show you that angle. Okay, I'm going to go ahead and dump the vegetables that I've been straining in my pot. And like I said, I didn't get all the juice off of it. I mean, you have to let it sit there for a while, but I'm going to try to do this without making a mess. This is 4 cans of green beans, 3 cans of peas, and 3 cans of corn going in the pot. That doesn't make too bad of a mess. Let me wipe this up a little bit. I don't want that to be sticky. Now I'm just going to try to stir this up a little bit. Get it going. Alright, now, the next thing you're going to add, you're going to add 3 of these big jugs of the Campbell's tomato juice. These are 64 ounces, and we use 3 of these. I'm just going to pour it in there. Now, we can tomatoes every year. You could put canned tomatoes in here. There again, my husband's real picky. He doesn't like the texture of the chunks of tomatoes in his soup. But he does in his goulash. I don't understand it, but I'm just going to pour these 3 over in there. And I'm going to tell you, with the tomato juice, you need to add a little bit of sugar to cut the acidity of the tomatoes. I can't tell you how much I add. I'm going to say probably at least a tablespoon to a tablespoon and a half. So I'll pour a tablespoon over in there, stir it up, let it cook for a few minutes, and then I come back and I taste it. So we're going to do that. And see what I'm saying about this almost filling up to the top. Now we're going to stir it. Now I'm going to let this cook for about an hour before I add my potatoes. You could go ahead and add your potatoes now. I just always wait about an hour. I'll set a timer, and then I'll come back in here and I'll dice up 4 or 5 potatoes, depending on how big they are, and I'll put over in there. So this is all I do for my tomato soup. All I gotta do is add tomatoes and a little bit of sugar, and I can go ahead and add the sugar now and show you. I'm just gonna do this. Like I said, it's about a tablespoon of sugar. I'm gonna stir it in. Then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna taste it. And see, I add sugar to my spaghetti sauce. Anything that is really has a lot of tomato base to it, I add a little bit of sugar to it, and it cuts the acidity down. Now at this point, you could go ahead and add more salt, more pepper, whatever you want. Make it your own. I'll be back to add the potatoes in it in about an hour, and I'm just gonna dice those up. I'll show you how I do those, but stay with me. Okay, I've got 5 potatoes peeled. I'm gonna go ahead and rinse them off. And if you hear me dropping something, I have a colander in my sink. I wish I had a better way of filming all of this. I've got them rinsed off. I'm just gonna cube them up and get them in my soup. It's been about 45 minutes. Like I said, you don't even have to wait that long if you don't want to. I like them in bigger chunks. I think if you put them in too small of chunks, they fall apart on you. So I'm just gonna cut them in half again, and then just kind of cube them up. I used to do this over the pot of soup, and I've learned to keep it from getting all over my clothes to do this ahead of time, and then I'll take that little scraper that I showed you earlier and drop them in there easy. Or you could put them in a big spoon and kind of lay them over in there just to keep it from splashing up on you. Just little things that I've learned screwing up over the years. It's going to seem like a lot of potatoes, but it's a lot of soup. So now when you add your potatoes, now I don't know if any of you know this, but your potatoes will absorb some of that salt. So wait about 45 minutes to an hour. Go back, taste your juice again, and make sure you have enough salt in there. All right, I'm gonna see if I can get you to where you can see how I'm putting them over in there. Okay, this might be a little bit better. I'm just gonna get my potatoes, get them on my little scraper, and I'm gonna come over here, and I'm gonna kind of go up to the side of the pot, and I'm just gonna kind of roll them in there, just to keep them from splashing. I'm not barefoot today. Normally in my videos, I've had several people comment that they see that I have that I'm not wearing any socks or shoes. I never wear socks or shoes in the house, but it's a little chilly outside, so I got socks on today. All right, and I'm gonna stir this up. Like I said, I'm gonna wait about 30, 45 minutes, hour, and I'm gonna come back and taste my salt, taste my juice to see how much salt it has, because those potatoes, they will absorb some salt. I don't know if you know this, but if you ever make anything and you put too much salt in it, you can put a raw potato over in the pot with it, and the potatoes will absorb the salt. So that's a good little trick, and I have had to do that before. So I've got this on about medium. We're going to let this cook. I'm going to come back and check it, stir it every now and then. Like I said, 30, 45 minutes to an hour. I'm going to come back and check my salt. And this is homemade vegetable beef soup. It's really easy once you get past cutting up the meat, the carrots, the celery, the potatoes, and the onion. It's a piece of cake after that. This is something great to make on a good fall day. We usually eat either grilled cheese sandwiches with this, and I'm going to be making a video on how I do egg salad. I know egg salad is pretty basic, but I'm going to do my eggs in the Instant Pot, and I'm going to show you how I make my egg salad. We enjoy eating egg salad with our our vegetable beef soup. But so easy to make. It's great for a fall day. So I'll come back in about an hour, hour and a half, and show you what it looks like then. Okay, this soup's been going for about an hour now. Let's take the top off and look at it. As you can see, it's real foamy on top. If you want, you can skim that off. I will, after it cooks a little bit more, I'll come back and I'll skim off that red foamy stuff. But for right now, I'm just going to go ahead and mix it up. And you can see my pot is pretty full. It's right up to the tippy top. And I forgot to look and see what size this pot was. I'll try to remember to put it in the comment section below. But this is homemade vegetable beef soup. It cannot get any easier than this. I'm going to go ahead and check it for salt and sugar and make sure my tomatoes are not too acidy. And make sure it has enough salt and pepper in it. But look at how good that looks. Can you imagine eating a bowl of this on a cool fall day? The leaves are outside falling. It's a perfect day for homemade vegetable beef soup. I hope you enjoyed this video. Please hit the subscribe button and drop any comments in the comment selection below. And I'll put the link to, I'll put the recipe down below in the comment section. But this is so easy. It's so yummy. I can't wait to make more videos for y'all. I've missed doing them. Please come back and check on my other videos. And I can't wait to do the next one. Till the next time, have a great day.